Hi, I'm Lachie, and this is my house in the back of a 1968 Dodge, and I'm going to show you around.
Lachie, this is epic. Talk to me. What inspired you? This is very unique.
Oh, thank you. I guess the first time I saw an image of a house in the back of a truck, I just sort of knew straight away that someday I'd like to do it myself. Just got to a point in my life when it was possible, so I made it possible. Yeah.
How long did it take you to build?
It was 2.5 years.
2.5 years?
Of weekends and holidays. It had to be able to support my life, and have everything I need within it. I want it to be self-contained and off-grid.
And so you've achieved all of those?
I think so, yeah. But the exterior is just all cedar cladding with some cedar strapping on top. Again, it was just, I had no plan at the beginning on what it was going to be clad with, but found some cedar cheap and utilised it.
Making use of what you've got. And what about the windows?
Windows, they all come from different places. Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, Demolitions. But yeah, just sort of found what I thought was right and put it all together. It's a 1968 Dodge D5N. It was a furniture removal truck for most of its life, and now it's a house.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think we should take a look inside.
Yeah, sure.
All right. How did you even first come about with designing the layout for the interiors? What were your restrictions? How did you start?
It was just a lot of scale ruler, measuring myself, measuring, ovens and things and fridges, and just trying to fit it all into such a small area. There was a lot of sort of design in the beginning just to sort of get everything I wanted into the one space. And then once I got everything I needed, I just sort of shifted things around to make it work.
Was there anything that you didn't want to sacrifice, or, what was your process in how to work out what was going to be in the space?
Just my experience living in houses over the previous years, just knowing exactly what I needed, what I didn't. You got to be pretty picky when you live in a small space, so I just worked out the things that I absolutely had to have, and they're the things that made it in here.
Can you talk us through the kitchen and the kitchen design?
It's pretty basic, I guess. Galley kitchen, or not galley, it's just a pretty simple, very small sink, because it needs to be small. Got my washing machine under the bench. There's also the bin and pots and pans and things under the sink. Overhead is all the food store, and then some spices and things above the oven.
You've got a decent sized oven in there though. That'd be a
600, 4 burner. I sort of tossed and turned about using like a caravan oven, but my girlfriend is, she's quite the cook, and I didn't want to do that to her, so full-size oven it was.
And I think when you go a full-size oven, it does make it feel like a real home. Then you can there's longevity of living here.
Yeah.
And you've got some lighting details as well.
Yeah, just some overhead lighting to help see what you're doing when you're preparing food. Power, whatever you need.
Have you lived small before?
I've lived in some small bedrooms and some small share houses, but never this small, no. But I've always been interested in, I really like camping and, having everything having its place and being, neat and tidy and knowing where everything is and at arm's reach. I like that.
You're very organised. I am very obsessed with the organisation here. I love the details, like the fact that you've brought in just something as simple as that. That's a very simple treatment to add that much more storage, that many more layers.
Well, there's nowhere else to put all those pots, so it's perfect, yeah. I've always loved copper and brass, so I guess to bring that in was just always going to happen kind of regardless. All the black plywood, it was just got it cheap, I guess, so I kind of made it work, but yeah, no real, it just sort of happened organically, I guess. Living, dining, the whole lot, yeah.
Yeah. And this is good too.
This is just out of necessity, so in order to have a booth seat, which I really wanted a booth seat because it's quite useful, the only way to get it in here with the bench here was to have a little flap, so that's the in and the out.
I love that. Did you come up with that after the fact and you were like, this isn't going to work? Or when did that actually happen?
So the original design was to have a little L-shaped couch here, but then I didn't really like the idea of having a table you had to move around all the time. So I made it a booth, and then to make it work, I kind of had to bring this in. So this also converts into a spare bed as well.
This converts into a spare bed?
Yeah.
Oh, so this goes flat with this?
This drops down into these little grooves, and then these backs are the half and half, and they sit on top of there, and then it's a bed.
Can we see it?
Yeah.
Actually fantastic.
It is good.
That's really good.
Just long enough for me.
Did that actually, when it came to measurements, were you legitimately thinking about what's my height? How much space do I need?
This is literally exactly my height. So I figure I'm not short, so most people should be able to fit in.
And if you have any guests around, they just can't be taller than you. That's the rule.
That's the rule. Or they're diagonal. Yeah.
Or they're diagonal,
Yeah.
and they have to sleep in the fetal position. Oh, I love it. When it came to inspiration, ideas, what were you looking for or looking at?
Like yacht design, caravans, and other similar things.
It's funny you mentioned yacht design because I couldn't help but notice when you're in the bedroom looking this way, you feel like you're in a boat.
Very much so, yeah.
Can we have a look up in the bedroom?
Yeah, of course. Similar to the bed, the roof height here is exactly my height. Just because I've always wanted to be able to stand up and get changed in the bedroom. You don't want to be like, hobbling like this all the time. So this is why we're at this height. I've got a screen to roll down here for the projector above the bed. So that's the cinema.
That is so good.
Yeah.
How often are you using that then?
Oh, every night. Yeah.
Every night?
Yeah. It's like a screenless TV, so it's got apps and stuff on it. So you just watch Netflix or whatever.
How good. That's
Yeah,
fantastic. In terms of the height, are we regulation height? Could this go on the road?
Just. Yeah.
Just. So what is the total height?
It's like around 4.5 meters.
Okay. And the restrictions are?
About that.
4.5.
Yeah, it is. It's over width, so with the eaves and the gutters, it can't be registered, obviously, but yeah, but it can be. If I had to move it, I would drive it, but you have to just get a temporary vehicle permit.
Have you moved it a lot in the early days, or?
Since building it, I've sort of just to keep it all running and turning over. I've driven around the paddocks, but I haven't taken on the road since building it.
This is now home where it is at the moment.
Yeah, this is home.
I like the fact that it's a small home, but you've designed it for longevity. You've designed it to be able to stand up in. Like you said, like you can't live in a home if you're crouched over all the time.
Exactly, yeah.
So it is important to be able to kind of think about that. That's a queen size bed?
Yep, queen size bed.
And you've still got room around, so...
Yeah, you can get around to actually make it and do whatever you got to do.
And at the moment we're sitting above the...
This is above the cab of the truck.
Above the cab of the truck.
The cantilever.
Very nice.
So, there's the bar.
Oh, of course.
Just odds and sods. The drawers get bigger as you go down further, and the rest are just shoes down the bottom.
So the bar, very convenient, so you can literally sit
Yeah.
and access it. That's why it's top shelf.
Everything's at arm's reach, pretty much. Yeah.
Is the booze top shelf, or is just the cabinet's top shelf?
I think the cabinet. Oh, it's not too bad.
I love it. And you've got additional storage down here.
Yeah, this is just for all bed sheets and things. Also, underneath these cushions, they flap up. So you can access underneath both.
So you got more.
The wardrobe. Double wardrobe, the mirror.
You are one neat bloke, Lachie. I'm impressed. That is an impressive wardrobe. And also you've gone full size everything. You've got like a proper fridge.
Yep, a proper fridge.
Although this is not. Where did you find this? And what do we even refer to this as?
That's a Roaring Meg. So that's made by a guy over in New Zealand, and he kind of specialises in these custom-made fires for small spaces.
It's actually beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's
I love
a
it.
sculptural piece. I love the fact that you've wrapped it in the aged brass. I think that it makes even more of a feature.
Very small bathroom, obviously, but it's got everything that I need. So the toilet's composting, got a storage cabinet behind the toilet, shaving cabinet, more storage as well, and the shower. The copper is actually really great. It's antimicrobial, I think, or antibacterial. So mold can't grow on it, which is great for a shower. And as it gets older and older, it just changes colour all the time. And eventually it will go green.
And is it already starting to get like a pretty cool patina on it?
Just down the bottom, it's like the green started. When I first put it in, it was like bright copper, like brighter than that. So I'm actually happy to see it aging.
Is this the first project that you have kind of built from scratch, like your first house?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Is there anything that you would change?
I mean, not really, to be honest. Like I put a lot of thought into it before I built anything. For years, actually, before I even started building, I was thinking about it and coming up with little details and things. So I'm pretty happy with how it's come together. I guess the next thing I want to do would just be build something bigger again, like whether that be a house or a container or, you know what I mean, just anything.
Was there anything that was a challenge that you didn't expect? Was it like something that you came across that you were like, oh my God, what is this?
Probably water consumption, using a lot more water than I thought I would. So like there's a rainwater tank on the back. It's only around 500 litres and it doesn't last very long, really. So luckily we've hooked mains water to top it up. So it just sort of gets replenished by mains. But yeah, water was something I didn't really think we'd go anywhere near what we do.
How big did you say the tank was you've got?
500 litres, it's not very big.
500 litres.
Yeah. So when I'm camping, like I've got like a 60-litre tank and that'll last a weekend, but in a house it's just so much different.
Is it different because of the mentality and how you use water in a house versus how you use
100%.
water camping?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. So we live here just like you would in a normal house, like, you know, 2 showers a day sometimes, like, you know, washing dishes, washing clothes. It's just no different to a house.
And it is off-grid?
Completely off-grid.
Yeah.
So there's a 1.6 kilowatt solar system and batteries, and I've got a generator for my workshop across the road. So sometimes I've had to use that, maybe once or twice in the couple of years I've lived here.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not in sunny Queensland, but still, that's
No.
okay. Even if
For Victoria, I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah.
So the stove and the hot water are gas, and the rest is just electric. Well, this has been the tour of my little truck house. I hope you've enjoyed it. Cheers.